And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from the Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, Josh Peterson and I cover the best and not so best Super Bowl ads and movie trailers that came out yesterday for the big game. Plus, we'd also talk about Disney's new CEO and what would we do if we were given the keys to the Magic Kingdom and a whole lot more. So go ahead and check it out today. It's the Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, as well, just want to mention that I also, as part of the Fan Arc Network, they've asked me to hop on to their channel, Lakers Latest, and I give you on Lakers Latest 15 to 20 minutes every single morning around 8 o'clock Pacific time, usually comes out. I go ahead and give you my thoughts on what's going on with the Lakers and also as well what's going on with the NBA right there for you. Quick 15-minute to 20-minute NBA shot, Lakers shot for you right there at Lakers Latest. I cannot thank enough all the people who got a chance to check me out over the weekend. 10,000 views this weekend on the stuff that I was doing for Lakers Latest and the Fan Arc Network. So I truly appreciate you guys checking me out. And thanks again for the Fan Arc Network for allowing me to be a part of what they're doing right there at Lakers Latest every single morning so far. I'm trying to do as many mornings as I can. So every morning, check me out on Lakers Latest. Also, as well, want to go ahead and give a big shout out to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, always the man indeed.
You're awesome.
Go ahead and check out what he's doing today right there for you at Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, giving some great highlights indeed. Also, as well, want to go ahead and give a big shout out to DBSH with that super chat, first super chat of the evening. Pathetic game. Wasn't expecting us to win anyways. Well, this was the game I think the Lakers had to have of these two games because San Antonio is fresh tomorrow coming into tomorrow's game. The Lakers will not be fresh because they had a hard fought game today. Didn't quite work out the way that they wanted it to, but it is what it is. But Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, truly appreciate you being a member of the Lakers Fast Break for 16 months and that they didn't want anything today from Isaiah Joe, who looked like an all-star. Well, a key for them was the return to health for a superstar for them, Jalen Williams, as well. Can't forget that indeed. But yeah, hey everyone, how you doing? Hopefully this week will be better than the way it started off. But the Lakers coming into the All-Star break here at the end of the week had 3 key games and a chance to move up in the standings with a successful week. Would that happen? We would find out on Monday night to start off with as the Lakers faced off against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And, well, first half didn't go too badly as the Lakers stayed close enough within 10 points to go ahead and still, with a push, get back into the game by halftime. In that third quarter, though, halfway through, the Lakers went on a run and actually went up by as much as 8 points. But closing in that last part of the third quarter, Lakers got a little selfish. Played a little bit too much hero ball. Stop passing the ball around and distribute around to open shots. People taking, Austin Reeves, primarily trying to take over the game, and it didn't work out. And the Lakers lost that lead. And by the end of the third quarter, it was actually anyone's game. And in the fourth quarter, the Lakers, known for their clutch play, the best clutch record in the NBA, didn't get it done, as they didn't execute down the stretch on both the offensive and defensive ends. Too much hero ball again. Open men not getting the ball, or even when they did, in the case of Jake LaRavia, not hitting shots. LeBron not hitting shots on the outside. Austin Reeves, this was not his finest hour as far as it's concerned. But again, for him, just a disappointment, especially on the defensive end where he got beat twice. And the key for OKC, yes, Isaiah Joe looked like a star today, 19 points for him, but it was Jalen Williams coming back into the lineup, and we knew it was trouble. that he was coming back into the lineup conveniently against the Lakers as he scored 23 with some clutch baskets for them down the stretch. They were picking on Austin Reeves and singling him out on the defensive end, and they executed down the stretch, and the Lakers didn't. And they get the win over the Lakers, 119-100. The Lakers now are 32-20 on the season. I will see where they map out in the Western Conference standings here in a little bit. But let me get to you guys' comments. Glad to have you here to help us get together through this tough day. Over 60 already in the chat. Truly appreciate you joining me. It is Gerald Glassford. I'll be soon joined, hopefully, by Joe Sorrell. Also, as well, legend John Costa from Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner as well. Hopefully, they'll be coming on here in a few minutes to tell you their thoughts on the game as well. YYC, yes, if only Laravia hit those open shots indeed. And YYC, I did want to, best, great to see you too. Best league and everyone. Great to see everyone out there. YYC, I did want to mention the new trick for some of these lousy teams is to sit all their guys, like you were talking about the other day. Sacramento's been doing it, and not just Utah. Watch out for all these tanking teams to sit their stars out with 5 minutes left to go in the game, even if they have, especially if they have a lead, and yeah, to make sure that they don't win the game. Juan says, so Gerald, does Reeve deserve 40 million? I never said he deserves 40 to 45 million. I'm telling you, Juan, I'm just telling you guys out there what he can sign. And if I'm representing him, I'm telling you what I'm asking for the Lakers. I didn't say I would pay it. I'm not saying I would pay it. We saw tonight why I would be very hesitant to pay it, especially if he's not hitting, trusting himself only, not being able to, not wanting to distribute the ball. And that, especially at the end of the third quarter, there were 4 out of 5 possessions where it just was him trying to be the hero and isolate and do that all on his own. And then in the fourth quarter, him or LeBron were trying to just ISOs. And when they just didn't make the right connections, Laravia also didn't hit some shots. Ayton was invisible on his game as well. You know, there's a lot of blame to go around. It's not just Austin. It wasn't just LeBron. There's a lot of blame to go around when you don't execute down the stretch. So there's a lot of finger pointing, and should be a lot of finger pointing in the Lakers locker room right now. But the defense on Austin, where he got burned on 2 straight possessions by Jalen Williams, they singled him out and they executed, and the Lakers didn't down the stretch. So I'm not saying he deserves 40 million. I never said that. Don't quote me on that because I never said that one. I'm telling you what he is eligible to get and ask for in the off season. I'm just telling you that. I didn't say I would pay him that. I'm just telling you that is what he might be asking for in the off season. Intel, what's up, my friend? Jays, what's up? What's going on? JSJ, what's going on as well? Mega Driver, great to have you here. Xbox, later on, Xbox, I'll thank you. I'll thank you for being here, Mark. There you go. How about that? Thank you for being in Surfer's Paradise in beautiful Australia. There you go. Elite, there you go. Elite 21 Rob. We've always been honest on JJ Redick. It's still an issue. He is an inexperienced coach. He's only coached at any level for one season. So you see mistakes like we were talking about on Discord. We're shouting when OKC is going on a run, call a timeout, and he's not calling a timeout, and they're scoring more points. It's some things that are just not jiving with what I see as far as his coaching. Stop me from saying he's the guy for us going forward. I'm not saying he's not the guy. There are some things that are just as far as what he does and what he executes and what he leaves there. Like when Ayton is invisible, like he was for most of this game, I don't understand why you keep him in there till past halfway point in the fourth quarter. It was truly disappointing to see that. And a couple changes left to right could have been done. You should have told Reeves, hey, at the end of the third quarter, instead of trying to do all yourself, you have a 50% 3-point shooter out there with you. Try to get him the ball, unless we're going to start calling him Cardio Luke, just like we called the Cardio Gabe. I don't want to call him Cardio Luke because he can hit shots. Give him that opportunity to do so. You got him here for a reason. And if he's just running cardio for you, and if he's just going to be picked on the defensive side, what use of is he as far as I'm concerned? It's just there's got to be a better plan in place. And JJ is letting this hero ball happen at times, and it's just frustrating because the Lakers need to take smarter and better shots in that offense. And to see them the way they executed in the latter part of the third quarter and to see the way they didn't execute in the latter part of the fourth quarter was very disappointing indeed. Isaac says he's not getting one penny more than 30 million. Again, Isaac, I'm not paying him. I'm not again, I'm not advocating for him to get $45 million. But again, I just tell you guys what he's eligible for, and then you guys decide from there, in your opinion, what he should make. But it's days like these where he doesn't get it done on both ends of the floor is where you guys come obviously and say what you say as far as what he's worth. When he's gone and you guys are asking for him and big man, we sure wish we had Austin Reeves back, yada yada yada. Again, it's a catch 22. He does certain things very well, especially for an undrafted player. He has made himself into a very good player in this league, but he has a certain style of play, trying to get fouls. He's not the most efficient of shooters, but so he has to work on getting to the free throw line. If he doesn't get that, his game starts to show a little bit of cracks. And then on the defensive side, you saw what happened today because Jalen Williams took him at will on the last part of the fourth quarter, which was really disappointing to see. But it is what it is with Reese right there. Silver says Reese might deserve 40 million, but I don't know if he can do it for the 5 years he is wanting it for. He might have a sharp decline in a few years. Again, Silver, I would agree with you. But if I'm his representative, if you're his representative, what are you asking for when you go in that room? And it's just that simple. When you go in that room with the Lakers, I know what I feel I would pay for him, and it's probably very different than what his representatives are looking forward to as far as what's coming up this summer. And after performances like these, you start to see why it is of concern to pair him up for 5 years with Luca as that starting backcourt. I have concerns because you saw it today. If those two are not playing any concernable defense or any discernible defense at all, it is a concern for the team because you can see a team like OKC, which is reliant on SGA or Jay Will to go ahead and isolate and facilitate the ball from there and make the decisions. You can see what happens. They just find a weakness in Austin, or if Luca's out there playing defense, they find a weakness with Luca, and that could be a problem in a playoff series. But we'll see what happens. Again, this is not saying that the Lakers are doom and gloom right there for you, but it does show you sometimes what we say about what we really think about Austin as being a better option as a sixth man on a championship roster. Nick T says Caruso 10 times better than Rui. uh, would I fire JJ, Tony? If we come up with a better option, I would look for a different option because again, you want this team to take the next level, Tony. You want this team to go ahead and be at a championship level right away, sooner rather than later, because you have one of the best, sorry, Nick T, when I say this, the best talent or one of the best talents in the entire league and Luka Doncic. And I understand, Nick T, you don't agree with that, but I'm just backing up what the stats say. You don't have that many 33, 9, and 9 players that are out there. You build a team around him that best accentuates his strengths and best takes care of his weaknesses. And you have a coach out there that can do those things as far as apply the right resources at the right time. I don't know if JJ's that guy. Again, it's days like these where there are periods of time where he got outcoached by Mark Dagnall, or where there's a period of times where he's just too stubborn and leaves a player out there like DeAndre Ayton longer than he should have been playing out there. Or he just lets the guys go on a run. And you see that, we're screaming timeout, timeout, timeout. And instead, they're letting OKC score an extra basket or two on top of it. These are things that more experienced coaches may do differently that may be more beneficial for your long-term planning. So, Tony, I would reevaluate that position of coach. If Rob goes, I would definitely look into it as far as making a coaching change as well. But again, it's still up for debate. JJ again has to have a nice playoff run to make me think otherwise at this point. I really think that JJ needs to find himself and be able to coach and scheme a certain way in the playoffs in order for him to find success in the league with the Lakers. I think it's just that simple. But guys, I'm here for you. It's great to have you here. I know you're frustrated. The Lakers once again, they lose 119 to 110. The Lakers fall to 32-20 on the season. A chance this weekend to really get to a higher level as far as this was within reach of the Western Conference by the end of this week for the Los Angeles Lakers. The Denver Nuggets lost tonight, and really the Lakers had a chance to go ahead and get to that point where they could really make some waves in the Western Conference, and they chose not to. They didn't execute down the stretch, and you could say Luka's not there. Well, they didn't have SGA. They didn't have the SGA either. So if that's the case, you've got to go ahead and find better ways to win. The Lakers are now 8 games back in the Western Conference, 5th place in the Western Conference right now. A big time chance to get to 3rd place, and they didn't get it done with the loss tonight. Very disappointing indeed. Trip Show, what's going on, my friend? Trip Show, by the way, at Trip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. I still got my Kobe pillow right here. Awesome Kobe and Gigi pillow. And then, of course, right behind me, you got the awesome canvas art right there with Luka and Kobe. And also here today, a good man indeed. It is, of course, the man behind Simblades, Simblades with a Y.com, and his own YouTube channel, the Joe Soro Experiment. Joe, glad to have you here. It is Joe Soro. Joe, a very disappointing loss, especially with what we see with San Antonio, a fresh San Antonio coming tomorrow night. The Lakers, a lot of hero ball at the end of that 3rd quarter with Austin Reeves, and also in the 4th quarter, poor execution down the stretch as well. It's sad. It's sad in a way because the Lakers had every chance and opportunity with the lead in the 3rd quarter to pull away from the OKC Thunder and didn't take the opportunity to do so. And instead, OKC down the stretch executed like the team with the best record in clutch time instead, Joe.
Laravia hits 2 open shots. We're not having this discussion. This was a physical game. And while I was upset at the non-calls, and that's probably what frustrated Austin Reeves. So Austin needs to put this in his memory bank and understand that he's going to have to play through this aggressive defense. If they're going to be calling these games like this was probably as 90s basketball as you're going to see at this time. I'm not saying it's 90s basketball. I'm saying it's as 90s as it gets. They let them play. And if they're going to let both sides play, then you better get used to it. But if Laravia hits 2 shots, wide, open, threes, Lakers win this game. We're not having this discussion. We're not ready to throw Austin Reeves to the shitter. We're not calling J.J. Redick's job. This was a missed opportunity because role players couldn't hit open. A particular role player at the right time could not hit a open shot. I mean open. If he hits those 2 shots, the Lakers are up 5. The following series, Oklahoma City missed the basket, and the Lakers got the rebound, and they would have had the ball with a 5-point lead.
So you're
remember when I told you?
Well, hold on. Let me just say this. Are you also disregarding the 2 straight possessions where Jay Will scored easily on Austin Reeves? I'm just asking.
Say that again.
Are you disregarding the 2 straight possessions Jay Will scored easily on Austin Reeves?
You're coming in and out, Gerald. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now? Are you
coming in? I see X's on you and Legend's connection.
Legend, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm asking. Well, Joe, can
Go
you
ahead.
hear us?
I can hear you now.
Okay. With 2 straight possessions, Jay Will scored on Austin. Are you discounting that as well?
Still couldn't hear you. Sorry.
Legend may want to go ahead and let him know on that. Maybe he can hear you.
Can you hear me, Joe?
Yeah, I can hear you. What
Go
was his
ahead.
question? What was his question?
Jay Will scoring on Austin Reeves, 2 straight possessions, Joe. Jay Will scoring, Williams scoring 2 straight possessions on Austin Reeves.
Well, I don't know what else to tell you other than if you think Austin Reeves guarding Jalen Williams is going to save you, that's probably not the way to look at it.
No, he got burned twice in a row. That's what I'm saying.
That's not what Austin Reeves does.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let me come back. I can't hear the questions. Let me come back.
Let me get it to Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Legend, Intel Wild is in the chat. Truly appreciate him dropping the super chats. He said AR wants 40 million. Sorry, not athletic. Not athletic. Plays 0D. Intel Wild also said again with Austin Reeves that he's just very disappointed in his play as well. Austin Reeves, again, we talked about it on the Discord, and I appreciate you being on the Discord with us. This wasn't his finest hour. This wasn't his finest game. And again, this is not all on him. DeAndre Ayton was invisible. Jake LaRavia missed shots. LeBron was nothing from 3. I mean, the execution down the stretch was not good. This is not on Austin Reeves, but he gets the highlight because he's looking for big money in the offseason. And it's just these type of things and these type of games, especially if it gets into playoff time and these things happen, that bring a lot of concern for Lakers fans out there, Legend.
Yeah, this is why I'm kind of hesitant on giving him max money. Why I probably gonna stand 10 toes down that I wouldn't give him that max money, even though if I'm his agent, yeah, I would go out there and try to get that money, get what you can. But as a person, if I was in the office, no, I would not give him that because tonight just showed this is what I'm more afraid of. What you gonna do in the playoff time when you're not getting no whistle calls? It's all physical. You just got to be just power through it and score. And that's the part I worry about when you get to the playoff time. Because we don't see it in 2 seasons in a row to where you just non-existence. Without that free throw line, you look very, very humanish out there amongst the big boys. And that's what I worry about. And the defense part, I mean, I guess it is what it is with it. You know, he never had been a good defender. You know, I'm not too surprised on that part. But the offensive part, he looks good in regular season. When the referees put them whistles up, you look like you lost out there trying to figure it out. I mean, so that's one of the things about his game. He got to improve it. Can't rely so heavily on that free throw line.
And I'll say this, you know, if SGA and Luka were back in here, Legend, Luka would be getting a lot of those touches in the third quarter that we are complaining about now. So it is a little bit different to look at, Joe, with that. But with Austin, again, the thing is, he's looking for the bank this summer, Joe, and it's just these concerns that people have in our chat. They have these concerns in regards to what we saw, and like I said, Luka would be handling a lot of those situations and maybe doing it differently. But if you pair him with Luka in clutch situations like these, it's the defense, like we saw today, that would concern me if you have both out there in a playoff format.
I don't know what I might have watched a different game than you guys. I'm still focused on 2 missed opportunities, and this is not even a discussion. And that's how close it was, in my view. You're not going to have a perfect game, and you're talking about the champions here with guys that are athletically freakish, that play defense, that are aggressive, that make shots against substandard defenders. What could have solved this problem was making a couple extra open shots at the right time. If you make those 2 shots at the right time, you have a lead late in the game, you have all the momentum and the ball in your possession. That ultimately was what did them in the end. They ran out of a slight confidence at the end there with wide open shots missed. And that's why it's important for role players to take advantage of those times. And they didn't.
And you're right.
I'm not,
He
I'm
did.
not, I'm not,
Jake
this,
Raven did
I'm
hit
not, yeah,
those shots.
yeah, I'm not going
I
to get
agree with you.
into, I'm not going to get into whether Austin's worth 45 million or 35 million or any of this stuff, because he basically won us a game a couple of games ago. And LeBron played amazing. He was dunking all over people, doing well. If he's not hitting threes, okay, well, he's not a three-point shooter. He's not supposed to make threes left and right. You had SGA out. You had Luka out. Basically, each of their number ones were out. This was a prelude to what you may see in the playoffs should they meet in the second round, because I believe that the Lakers will get a 4 or 5 seed. I believe that if things are all and well good in terms of health and a little bit of focus, I think they can get out of the first round, and they're likely going to play Oklahoma City in the second round. And that's how I'm looking at this. This is a regular season game where both teams played their asses off. Mistakes were made, bad decisions were made. I also thought that the reason why Austin Reeves did so poorly in the second half is because he was getting his ass whooped and with no calls. Sometimes that throws your game off. And a lot of those missed calls by the refs were, some of us that were watching it were calling them, and all you see is the bench going nuts. When the bench is standing up in unison, they have an even closer look at what's going on. So for some reason, the referees decided that they're not going to call any fouls today on any kind of ticky-tack stuff. Okay, well, if that's how it's going to be, then be ready for it next time. And that's how I looked at this game. I didn't see this game as anything other than role players didn't come through at the right moment when the stars were drawing in all of the traffic, and you have to make those shots. Otherwise, you lose these games, and that's as simple as it gets. There's just no other way to look at it.
So you're talking about people executing or not executing down the stretch. Is that a little bit on JJ?
Executing, if you consider executing, missing wide open shots, yeah. Think about it. I mean, that whole 30-second to 60-second sequence where Laravia had wide open shots, it was 101-100. If Laravia hits that first one, they're 103-101. Then they get the ball back. He had the same open shot again. Likely would have probably gotten the same shot again. If he makes that shot, now you're looking at 106-101. Then maybe Oklahoma City calls a timeout at that point. Maybe, right? Let's say they don't. Next possession, they miss a shot. Lakers get the rebound. They have a 5-point lead with the ball in their hand. That's basketball. That's basketball right there. Because in a quick whim, your entire judgment, your entire analysis of players, teams, coaching, all that is either enhanced or destroyed by 2 missed fundamental possessions. Because the Lakers did an excellent job drawing the defense to the paint to have 2 wide open shots, and those shots were not made. And then this discussion goes to another area. This is Oklahoma City. This isn't the Charlotte Hornets. This isn't Orlando Magic. This is the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're very well coached. Absolutely, without doubt, one, and then 1A would be probably Boston with Brad Stevens in terms of executive front office, talent evaluation, and on top of that, they're the champions. This is the top of the line in terms of what you're playing. And the Lakers were neck and neck with them. So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm not going to blame the refs, again, even though those calls should have been a foul, because I also saw aggressiveness on the other side, and they weren't calling all the fouls for them as well. And that's always been my rule. I'm like, if you're going to let them hack them a little bit, please let the other side get hacked too. And then I'll shut up. And that's it. Maybe it's because I'm used to it. Maybe I'm used to 90s basketball. I don't know. But my frustration tonight is wide open shots being missed at the worst time. And that ultimately was the downfall for the Lakers tonight.
Lakers lose 119-110. They are 32-20 on the season. They're now 8 games back in the Western Conference, 5th place. Tomorrow they do play against the San Antonio Spurs. Legend, I'm going to bring it back to you. I know we talked about it in Discord. I know you were there, and appreciate again you being there. DeAndre Ayton, The DeAndre Ayton experience continues. Today, he had opportunities, I think, that if he had executed, would have garnered him a lot of favor amongst Lakers fans, but he found himself making mistakes, dropping the ball, a rebound underneath, which should have been his, just fumbled away, and that meant 2 points for the other team. And then he was soon quickly removed out there shortly thereafter. But he did play until I think the 3-minute mark left in the fourth quarter. Did JJ leave him in too long? And when you're into the DeAndre Ayton experience, is it a problem? Because YYC has, why wasn't that Rui and Jake spot? He had their JY's talking about that. There's a YYC is talking about DeAndre Ayton as well, as far as his ineffectiveness. But the Lakers, though, when JY talks about it, Lakers are at a coaching disadvantage in games like this, going small when the Lakers struggle to rebound. So it's a catch-22. You have DeAndre Ayton out there to hopefully get those rebounds, but when it's not working for you with DeAndre Ayton, I just don't know what alternatives the Lakers truly have.
Yeah, when he's not getting rebounds, you're in a tough spot because you're already small, and Oklahoma's gonna do exactly what they did tonight. Go put their two big boys out there and get ready to have field. They getting all the rebounds. I mean, you're just in a tough spot at that point. You're basically hoping that Aiden gonna get that motor up and step up and grab some rebounds, but it was a lot of times where he just couldn't get it. And if he did, there were a few times where he turned the ball over. I think JJ did sometimes make a mistake of when he was having some rough moments. Take him out for a little bit. Just take him out for a bit. Try him again a little bit. Just take him out. But JJ did that a few times in this game too, and may have cost him a few times as well when you let the game get a little out of hand and it's too late. It's over. Momentum no longer on your side. But yeah, that Aiden experience is something else. The more this season go by, the more you begin to understand why Portland was happy to just give you the money and say to get on up out here. You begin to understand why they did that now.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Legend. Again, this is who he is. And again, I was talking to people out there about, what about this guy? What about this guy? I mean, for what you're getting 13 points and 8 rebounds. That is commensurate to a Wendell Carter Jr., a Jakob Poeltl, a Nick Claxton, who are being paid $10 to $15 million more than what he is. But in those crucial times, Joe, if you can't play him, it is a concern. We'll get to Luke Kennard in a second because he was doing some cardio in the second half, which was disappointing to see after such a good start in the first half. But with DeAndre Ayton, Joe, are you frustrated? Are you mad? Or what do you see out there with DeAndre Ayton? Because it's obvious that he's not relied upon in clutch time, and you see any mistake he makes, he's immediately pulled out.
Well, I have liked how Luke Kennard's played since he's been a Laker so far. He couldn't get any space today, and
they stopped. They started playing hero ball in the second half.
Well, that's part of JJ. If you want to criticize JJ for not getting Kennard some open shots, then yeah, I will agree with that. That's something. Imagine if Kennard had been that guy that was open instead of LaRavia, and it wasn't. The reason why I harp on those two situations is those were not open shots in the basic form of oh shoot, you guys made a mistake not covering this guy. It was how the offense allowed him to be open. So I feel that if the offensive sets were geared towards getting Luke Kennard those shots, we probably win the game. And that's a lesson that JJ probably looks at in the film tonight and goes, you know what? I'm going to try to do – I didn't get Kennard enough open shots. It could have helped us, especially in those moments. This is an 82-game regular season, and this is how you learn from your mistakes. And you also got a chance to say to yourself, you played aggressive basketball against the NBA champions, and you almost won the game if you had just hit a couple shots. As far as DeAndre Ayton is concerned, there's only one fear with him at this point, and that is he going to opt in? I'm really hoping he doesn't. because
it is a movable contract, though.
It is, but you'd have to give up something for it, which I don't feel he's worth giving anything up for. I guess maybe a second round pick is fine, maybe in 2048, fine. But this player, no team in their right mind at 26 is going to let some guy go that's 26, that's got his skill set when he wants to use his skill set. So, but then again, it's Portland. Then again, I attributed his issues in Phoenix to not being paid what he wanted, and I thought, and sometimes players get mentally checked out when that happens. So you didn't really know, but now we know. Now we know it's really deeper than that. It wasn't just about money in Phoenix. It wasn't just about boredom in Portland. This is who DeAndre Ayton is. He is not a focused man. He's kind of an aloof in a lot of ways, kind of weird, like the way he is. He's kind of the he kind of reminds me of the why am I drawing a blank? Florida State quarterback, Jameis Winston. He's like a Jameis Winston of basketball. When I see him in interviews, you're like, what? Like, what's going on there? I mean, Jameis is a little more whacked out than DeAndre, but there's remnants of it. And if you're going to play with this particular team in terms of the Ruiz, the Austins, the LeBrons, the Lucas, if you're not going to be doing the dirty work, then you're useless. The dirty work doesn't just mean getting rebounds. The dirty work is getting putbacks when the guys miss. Because if you're putting two guys, or you're shading a second guy on Luka, or shading a second guy on LeBron, and those guys still shoot the shot, that should allow your bigs or your aggressive front court guys to have the advantage at that point. And when you do that, guess what happens, folks? Now they can't shade that second guy there. See how it works? So, yes, DeAndre Ayton is, I wouldn't say a complete failure. It's just the fact that he is exactly who he is. Yeah. And it's probably not going to be a good ending with him in terms of the results at the end of the year, because he's not going to be able to provide this team what it needs. It needs that guy. It needs the guy that put the missed shots back into the basket. It needs somebody that could get rebounds. I'm not asking him to block shots. We know that's not his game. But at least get some rebounds and make sure that you make them pay. You're the first overall pick of an NBA draft. You're one of 80 guys in the history of the NBA that's been a number one pick overall. Can you at least rebound and put some baskets back so that they can't double team any of the guys on the perimeter? And watch how these things open up even more. Just as simple as that. So if he's not going to buy into that and he's not capable of doing it, then he's really useless. And then at that point, the second I see Rob Pelinka is now somewhere else, either somewhere in the back offices at Crypto, because I don't think he's going to get fired. I mean, he still could get fired. But let's just say Genie made a deal with Mark Walter and said, please don't fire Rob Pelinka, just make him something. Fine, but just put him in the corner and just let somebody else come in there and take care of
that advisor role. How about that?
I wouldn't let him advise me on how to drink water. Okay. I don't give a shit about anything. That interview that he did, what was it, yesterday, was an absolute disgrace. He looked pathetic. I cannot understand what happened to this guy. If this guy was really cool friends with, I think that's probably the part that's just astonishing to me, how Kobe would be friends with somebody like this. But then again, I gave it a little bit of a way out. There are people that change into who they really are when someone is not there to keep them in check. And I think Kobe kept Rob Pelinka in check because Rob's that kind of guy. Rob is a face pleaser. He'll say and do anything to please you while you're in the room. But as soon as Kobe checked out, Rob became what he is, a buffoon. He just looks and sounds like a damn buffoon. And we saw evidence of it the first week he was on. He was the GM. We just saw it, that KCP press conference. I remember I was watching it and I was excited. KCP finally, because all the shit that was going on with him getting arrested and he was going to be on house arrest. Everybody was laughing about him having an ankle brace, something like that. I was like, what the hell's going on here, man? Can you just come and play basketball? And then all of a sudden he's talking about Manos above, Manos this. I'm like, what the fuck is Manos above? What? What the fuck is this guy talking about? And it's like that guy that's trying to be funny. He thinks he's trying to make a joke to be funny. Dude, if you're not funny, don't talk. Just do your job. And I think what could happen is if the Lakers flame out badly, then I think you could see a legit report of this guy's out, not instead of, well, he's slithering over here a little bit, kind of like how they did again with Nick Coletti and with the Dodgers when they bought the Dodgers.
Legend, let me bring it back to you. And once again, the Lakers lose 119 to 110. They're 32-20 on the season, 5th place, 8 games back in the Western Conference. JJ Redick. As someone, again, I love to hear your thoughts because as someone who is a fan of the Warriors and Hawks, you give a outside detailed perspective. You give an honest perspective, and you don't sometimes see it the way maybe Joe and I might see it or some others out there see it with a little bit of a tinge of purple and gold. When you see JJ and how he coaches, and you were there with us during the Discord on that, again, especially in that second half, against a coach who is brought up through the system, wasn't automatically given the job. He earned it in the G League. He coached for several years there. He coached for he coached for years there. He coached for now for several years and grew his coaching skill along with the rest of the team. As the team grew, he grew along with it. Obviously, you saw the success he achieved last season, but when you see JJ, what do you see as far as a coach is concerned? I mean, because one of your favorite teams has Kerr, who's achieved the ultimate success on several occasions. How do you compare when you see a guy like JJ Redick and how he coaches his team?
I see someone who is still learning. He still makes a lot of newcomers' mistakes. Someone who still got a lot to learn. But I give him credit. To me, I will say that he came a long ways. He's still improving. But to be in his second year and somebody who never coached on a pro level or collegiate level, let alone even I guess high school, he done good. He has done really, really good. And I will say that maybe he might need a little more time. And I think being as a Lakers head coach, it's hard. That's a hard job to take. Probably one of the hardest coaching jobs in the league to take. And for that to be your very first coaching job, that's rough. That's tough right there. So I would say, he's doing the best he can, but he's making a lot of mistakes as well. And, just like tonight, he kind of got out coached. That's what happened in last year's playoff. He got out coached by a more experienced coach. He's still learning. But, in a Lakers organization, you just don't have time for newcomers like that. You need somebody who is ready to go. You're trying to win. So we'll see how long he still be a LA Lakers coach.
Joe, the newest addition to the Lakers is Kobe Buffkin, who has been tearing up the G League and was on a 10-day before, but quickly fell out of the rotation with JJ. And most people thought, okay, well, he quickly fell out of the rotation. He's not going to get an opportunity. Did get an opportunity. He was signed for the rest of the season and a team option for another season. But I want to bring you to what was said earlier today by JJ in regards to Kobe Buffkin. JJ said, there's a lot of factors that go into the signing of Kobe Buffkin. The buyout market, I'll just be frank, because I did this when I was working in media, is very, very rare, very, very, very rarely produces a player that impacts a team's playoff chances. It just very rarely does. The second part of that is you got to make sure the guys, if you're going to get a buyout player, you got to make sure that guy's healthy, that guy's ready to play. Kobe has a certain certainty. Kobe has certainly earned a spot in the NBA by the way he's played for South Bay. There's also factors of, are we going to able to keep him in our program? So there's a lot that went into it. We feel really happy that we got him on the roster. And then you come out and you don't play him a lick. So, do you agree with what JJ did and not playing him at all after hyping him up like that? Or, what's the process when you bring a guy back into the mix and you don't utilize him at all in the games? Because I see that in the chat as far as where was Kobe Buffkin? Where was Kobe Buffkin? You just signed him. Again, I mean, how do you see it when he doesn't utilize a guy coming like that off the bench that could give you some quick points because he's done so well with the momentum that he's gained from how he's playing in the G League?
I don't know if this was the kind of game to start him off, not knowing the offensive setup and not having any chemistry with the team. You might want to start him a little bit with a lesser opponent where you can allow him to make maybe some mistakes without it being catastrophic. I really don't have any thoughts on Kobe Buffkin.
I'm just, again, there's a lot of questions in the chat and a lot of questions why he was signed and a lot of questions why he was not utilized tonight.
I couldn't care less about a buyout player that's been good in the G League. I don't think Kobe Buffkin's going to really in the end matter anyways. Okay. And that's not to downgrade him or to degrade him. I'm not. We're here talking about DeAndre Ayton, who's a first overall pick of an NBA draft, who actually has skill and height and physical attributes that should make him an all-star, to be honest with you. And he can't contribute. So I don't know if I don't know what Kobe Buffkin was out of the draft. If I remember correctly, wasn't he one of the best? Wasn't he one of the better perimeter defenders coming out of the draft? So where he can benefit this team is learn the ropes a little bit here the next week or two, and then just be Marcus Smart. Try to be Marcus Smart. That's what's going to help. Because if he's in there for about 12 minutes a game, let's say, and he can help a particular lineup with at least having some semblance of a perimeter defense, that's where he could surprise. That's where he could be valuable. But if not, then it is what it is. You can't really use him.
Also here today, good man indeed. He just finished his 3-minute report that you got to check out right now at Lakers Corner. Go ahead and give him some love out there with a like and subscribe as well. It is my man indeed. He is back. Hopefully, as far as a peaceful time, as far as concerned, no fights with Black or Ihema or anybody like that, because I haven't seen them in a couple of days.
They ran off after.
No, I think they'll come back. Black is usually good to come back. At least Ihema.
They ran off. They got scared, Gerald. It's like how Joe said last time. I turned them orange.
That watch Black will be here in the next second. Say, you're talking about me? Yeah. It is, of course, my good friend, Mr. John Costa. John, great to have you here. Lakers lost, didn't execute down the stretch. A lot of reasons why that we've gone into as well. Your thoughts, though, again, the major source of conversation in the early part of the chat, from what I'm seeing, and again, I'm trying to correlate this from the chat, is the way that Austin Reeves played a lot of hero ball at certain points of the game. And I saw that too. In the third quarter, at the end of the third quarter, he played a lot of ISO ball that maybe could have been better suited as far as more of a team play, or at least try to go ahead and create some pick and rolls with Jackson Hayes when he was out there. But fourth quarter, they chose on the OKC side in straight possessions to target him on the defensive end. And I think that when it comes down to it, again, if we're going to see this type of performance from guys in the playoffs like these, especially if they're not going to call or get the calls that the Lakers are hoping to get, like in a playoff format, they will get less calls. Does that mean that there's going to be less effectiveness for a guy like Austin Reeves?
I mean, I feel like if you've been watching Lakers for some time here, I feel like you know that's what happens against the elite teams come playoffs. Now, one thing that we have seen, if you're also a Lakers fan, is we've seen Austin year over year continue to elevate and continue to get better as a player. But that's our biggest qualm as Lakers fans, is like, okay, will he get targeted by the elite teams come playoff? And tonight we seen just that. But I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I think I can speak for everybody here. None of us thought it would happen differently. Like we all know the great offensive, powerhouse that he is and he is becoming, but we also know the defensive shortcomings that he has, in that by the elite teams that it would get, it'd get targeted. And I think that's kind of what happened tonight, to be honest with you. I think that we did a good job throughout the game of staying in it. Granted, no Luca for us, no SGA for them, but we we stayed in it, I think, very well. But I think what separates the great teams and the elite teams, or even the good teams and the great teams, is that consistency of, like, keeping that pace throughout the entire game. And, we saw OKC kind of, kept it up come that fourth quarter, and ours kind of dropped off, or it just honestly dropped off throughout the game. Like in that second quarter as well. Like I blame that second quarter drought and that terrible defense we were playing in that second quarter as well. And I mean, like I said, you see the difference between the OKCs that can just kind of keep it at that steady pace all game long. That's what makes teams great, Gerald, is that consistency right there.
So with that though, also Joe and I and Legend were talking about the DeAndre Ayton experience continuing. Jake LaRavia not hitting shots this time around when given the opportunity. Two straight threes that he missed.
Three actually.
Three. You're right. Three. LeBron 0 or 4 from three. Down the stretch, I think he airballed one in the second half and also missed another in the fourth quarter. Just some of the choices of shots and some of the execution of shots is left to be desired. Is this something that maybe JJ can fix, or is JJ the right coach to fix all this?
Man, I don't think for LeBron's sake, I don't think that, to be honest with you, because, and this is something I've been saying all season, the second JJ got hired, I don't think it was a good idea for him, first of all, to go to the Lakers as his first coaching gig. Second of all, go to the Lakers and LeBron James aging. But even more than that, we all know that this man got this job because LeBron put in a great word. They did the podcast. They had that existing relationship, which is great. Hey, networking is a great way to get opportunities in life. I'm actually going for a promotion right now within my job, and networking is helping me majorly, right? So nothing against networking, but I think that it now puts JJ in a position to where, are you gonna hold LeBron James, the man that kind of fucking got you the job or was a big reason to getting you the job? Are you gonna hold him accountable? Are you gonna get on his ass when you need to get on his ass? And honestly, truthfully, I don't know if I've seen JJ do that enough, to be honest with you, which is, I think, one of the reasons that's always going to be able to hold him back as a coach. Is like, you can't just not give not give a fuck, or not be as hard on one player just because he got you the damn role versus somebody else. So to answer your question, Gerald, I don't think that JJ is the right one to fix that shot selection, because to fix terrible shot selection like that, you need to come down hard on these guys. And I don't know if he's ready to come down hard on these guys, especially, our guy LeBron.
That's right, our guy LeBron, indeed. Which I was going to bring back to Joe Soro. Joe, that's, as was mentioned, missed free throws, didn't look good from three, just some execution skills down the stretch. But
Gerald, hold on.
Yes,
don't leave, okay? Don't leave. I'm about to go to my mail and I'm about to pick up something that Drip Show got for me.
Okay,
don't end this live. I'm
don't
right
worry. I'll let Joe keep talking. That'll keep us on.
That's great. All right, I'll be right back.
So with that, Joe, I got LeBron. With LeBron, not executing at 100% himself, a lot of questions have come into play in regards to him. I will say that you have to give him a little bit on the slider because of the fact that he has been asked to run the offense more in the absence of Luka Doncic. In that absence, he is was 15 turnovers in 2 games, and today I think was 3 more turnovers. So that's 18 turnovers in 3 games. Your thoughts, my friend, on LeBron, his performance over the course of period of time? The Lakers have won despite of it, but it's been very sloppy in execution. But it's a necessity we have because, again, when you don't have Luka commandeering the ball for quite a bit, you have to rely on other people.
I thought they were fine today. I thought they played hard. I thought the offense was running decent. It was good. It was a good basketball game until missed opportunities happened late in the worst times. That's it. That's all it was. I didn't see the same game everybody else did, maybe, in that there was criticism of things that were, other than Aiton being a chronicle just lazy player. I thought everyone else did their best, played hard, and it just did. Certain role guys just didn't make shots. And that's it. I'm just not taking. I didn't get anything out of this game that made me feel like I didn't see something I didn't like.
So what you're saying is that a team that is admittedly one of the best, if not the best, at execution, record-wise, they're the best in executing in the clutch down the stretch. I mean, the reason why the Lakers are 32-20, one of the big reasons is the fact that they have been executing down the stretch in the last 5 minutes of games better than anyone else in the league. Today was just not one of those days. And again, poor execution on both sides of the ball. And had they done just a couple things differently, you're just saying that that was the difference in the game. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Luka had played tonight, without SGA there, this would have been a win.
Okay. So you have San Antonio coming tomorrow night, fresh, sitting in the hotel watching this game. What do you do to try and recoup, to try and get a win from them tomorrow night?
Put in the effort that you had today by everyone, and maybe those shots go in tomorrow. LeBron is, I think, the only one that played a lot of heavy minutes. I'm not sure if they're anticipating him probably sitting tomorrow. I don't know, but Boston only played 29 minutes. Everyone else was under 30 pretty much, except for maybe Rui. So just keep doing the best you can here at this point. I wish I could see a split here, but I wouldn't be upset if they went 2-2 before the All-Star break. It is what it is. But you're
including the Saturday game as well.
If I'm JJ Redick and I'm in that locker room tonight, I'm like, all right, guys, you saw what playoff basketball was a little early for those of you who don't know what it is. And while we don't know that's how they're going to officiate in the playoffs, assume it will be that way. And be ready. Just be ready. If the Lakers had just had a normal quarter in the fourth, they only scored 19 points in the fourth, they would have won the game. And that comes down to not hitting open shots. The NBA basketball has become what today's game has been. It's down to the wire, make a couple shots versus stop a couple shots at the end when it matters, and that's it. The only problem is this team has too many deficiencies in the margins. LeBron is too old. Vanderbilt has too much deficiencies in the important areas that you need him.
That came up to
and JJ Redick took
his good play. Took it
down.
down.
JJ took him out at the right time. I remember thinking when he was struggling with certain things, he took him out right away. So that's why JJ's paying attention to things. Whether it works out for him every time is never going to be 100%. He's doing what he can, and Marcus Smart's been playing very well the last month. Very, very happy with what he's doing, and Rui's doing what he does. Again, the guys that they have serve a purpose, serve a certain talent to the game, but the Lakers need to tighten a couple things here and there, and it probably won't take long if you have a competent player personnel guy at the end of the year. Okay. I have no doubt that they can fix it pretty quick. It's just a matter of somebody who knows what they're doing. Because you got the pillars there, man. You got them. If you decide to sign, I still would tell Austin, go see whatever you feel you're worth. And again, that might still be a disrespect to him. Probably not, because he's not going to pass up a fifth year because he feels disrespected. That's an extra $30 to $45 million, wherever that scale runs into, that you don't turn down. But for me, you you make that decision pretty quick. Go find your money, and whatever it is, we'll match it.
All right. So, Legend, let me bring it back to you. And once again, the Lakers lose 119 to 110, 32 and 20 on the season. They are 8 games out of first place in the Western Conference, still 5th place overall. But as we can see, if a couple things go right for your team over the course of the week, Legend, things can really look well if you're in the middle of the pack like the Lakers are at this point in time. But if things go wrong, and with San Antonio coming tomorrow, fresh, being in the hotel probably nearby in Los Angeles, it's a tall order, and it's a tough thing to ask for the Lakers to do tomorrow night.
Yeah, when you're in the wild, wild west, all it takes is 1 or 2 losses, and you can go from 4 all the way down to 7th, just like that. Like, it does not don't even take a whole week to drop that quick, 2 days. So that's just the tough thing about being in the Western Conference and being so packed up right now. And then knowing you got the Spurs tomorrow night too, that's a very tough, tall task to ask to make up. But anything can happen. And but it also can be a good thing too, though. You win a couple of games in a row, you can easily go from 5 or 6, 3rd in the West, just like that. So it can go either way. It just come down to, can you string some wins and just keep yourself going when someone starts dropping. You take advantage of that situation, and it's a tight race right now. Knowing Minnesota won tonight, so they kind of bring themselves right back up. Houston plays tomorrow as well, so it kind of brings things more in a competitive role right now. But they had a really good opportunity to get that 3rd spot. But things happen.
Things happen indeed. Don't start saying that about Joe as far as him being a LeBron fan. Because and him wanting him back on that best league, I would say maybe not stay away. But again, I'll ask him if Silver's question here in a second. But John, let me bring it back to you. You said you got a certain thing from a certain person.
Yes, my shout out my boy Drip Show
At Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter, right there. I got the gray version. Nice. There you go.
Showing love, major love. Even got this one right here for my girls, my real ones, you know what I'm saying? So appreciate you, Drip Show. You showing love, man. So I just wanted to show that because he deserves all the publicity, I guess is the right word. I don't know if
he deserves everything because he does such a great job, and he takes care of all these, not just us, but all these Lakers podcasters out there that go ahead and give him a shout out. Joe as well. So please go ahead and show him the love by going ahead and ordering something today from at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. But I do want to get it to you real quick. I'll ask you this question from JY. JY, I'm going to ask this to John because I want to ask that LeBron question to Joe. If you'll allow me, JY. So I appreciate the question. Is OKC is stacked. Jared McCain is on OKC now, and he's the 11th man the Lakers have. Do the Lakers have to make major changes in the offseason because of how stacked OKC is? Provided, though, they're going to be doing some salary gymnastics here in the not too distant future as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think irregardless of what OKC got going on, I think we need to make some changes as far as getting to a championship roster. Not only like player wise, but I think attitude wise, culture wise. I was just speaking to that earlier. So I think irregardless of what OKC's got going on, and I still don't know how OKC got the runner up for rookie of the year. I know he came off injury, but runner up for rookie of the year for like some Dorito Lace chips or some shit like that. But
they were the only team that actually traded a first round pick. That what was it? Thursday deadline day. They were the only team that traded a first round pick. Everybody else was trading seconds. So
wow, yeah, seconds have been hot commodity the last couple of years. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, so to answer JY's question specifically, I think we're gonna need to make some changes. Period. To be able to compete in a stack-filled West. And I mean, when you look at OKC only getting better, the rich are getting richer. even more urgency for us to make some more moves. Drip Show. I don't know if you were just on here, bro, but I just showed major love to you. Shout out to you, bro.
At
Absolutely.
Trip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter, everyone. Please, if you want shirts like that, right there at Trip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. Let me get it to Joe right now, though, as far as the question to add on to that, as far as that building that you talked about, John. It was asked in the chat about LeBron James, Joe. I know have been very clear on wanting him to move on from this organization and his son along with him. Is there any circumstance that you would see your way clear as far as allowing him back on at any reduced price at all? Because as mentioned in the chat, some people feel that he is still, even at this age, if he goes out in the free agent market, he is still the best free agent available, according to what they're saying in the chat.
Yes, they win a title.
Okay.
That's it. It's not about his talent. It's about the atmosphere, the energy around him. It needs to change. It's just not, it's not going to work. It's not working if it doesn't. It's not working. And as of right now, we're going to find out the last year here if it works if it can work one last time, and if it doesn't, it's just time. It's time because that money and that focus needs to be on building a team around Luka Doncic. That's just what it is. Moving on from Joe Montana and just putting Steve in there, guys. Joe Montana is great. Joe Montana played another 2 years of amazing football, but we have the guy now that's taken over, and we have to focus on that. I think the Brett Favre one might be a better one
than the Steve Young one.
Yeah, Brett Favre versus Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years. So the last 3 years, this is what has been the result. It's been getting swept in the Western Conference Finals, losing in 5 to Denver, losing in 5 to Minnesota. This is the Lakers, guys. This isn't the Bobcats of the 90s. I'm sorry, the 2000s. So, sorry, I know it sounds greedy. It sounds selfish, sounds whatever. I don't really give a shit, actually. This is the Lakers. We don't get happy going. Lakers have won 32 times going to the finals. So when somebody says, well, we made it to the Western Conference Finals, okay. Yeah, we're used to going to the next step as Laker fans. 32 times. 32 times in that spot they've advanced to the next round. And losing in the first round is unacceptable, especially as a 3 seed. The Lakers had no business losing to Minnesota last year the way they did. Absolutely no business. So, LeBron James, I think in the end, if you look at it from his perspective, I think it'd be poetic and the right way to go, to just maybe go play in Cleveland one more year with James Harden or whoever is over there. Donovan Mitchell may be playing his last year there too. Go try and win it. Go to the finals in Cleveland. You have a better shot winning in the East with that team than probably the Lakers with this stacked West. And maybe he announces his retirement. Maybe he plays. Maybe he wants to play 25 years. Maybe Cleveland will give him a 2-year deal. I don't know. But the Lakers need to use this offseason and the following offseason, and this is my timeline. This is the timeline that I'm predicting that it's going to take for this team to be a perennial title contender for the next 5 to 7 to 8 years. That is, get this thing set up this summer, in the right direction, and then have the kill shot. And that kill shot could be just depth next year. If they somehow manage to get Giannis in the summer, they still need to build around Giannis, a Giannis type player, and Luka. The following year, you have another draft where you can draft somebody, and then you can get some free agents, maybe trade for somebody you want, whatever. And then you go into 27, 28 for the next 5 years going, all right, guys, we got the team that's built for Luka Doncic and whomever is there with him, and let's go win championships.
Legend, let me bring it back to you, my friend. Tonight was an interesting night in the NBA. It was fight night. I didn't even know it was fight night, but somebody said it was fight night
Mhm.
tonight in the NBA. Not one, but two interesting little mix-ups. Isaiah Stewart is about ready to lose a lot of cash.
As soon as I saw Detroit in the headline fight, it was
Well,
like a sixth sense. I said Isaiah Stewart is somehow involved in this,
For sure.
and it could not have been a better sixth sense. He had nothing to do with the fight, yet he still immersed himself in it. And he's going to get suspended more than anyone. Not Duran, not I forgot who the guy was.
Bridges, I think Bridges on
Yeah,
Charlotte.
Isaiah. The NBA hates when players come off the bench and do shit. That's
And
like
he
the
knows
worst thing.
this too. He
Yeah.
knows this. Yeah.
We remember this. Remember when B. Shaw, his foot touched the line and he was suspended for a game?
Mhm.
Like, seriously, NBA really touching the line? Really? Just amazing how stupid the simple things are for human beings. It just amazes me. But
Well, I was
Isaiah
watching
Stewart
Dallas
did
at
not
the
step on the
Palace.
line. He's a habitual line stepper, and he habitually lost probably about maybe 5 game checks because he loves to be a tough guy. See, NBA basketball players are not fighters. A lot of people know that. Shaq, I remember, had a clean shot at Brad Miller and whiffed while Brad Miller was looking the other way. But it's worse now because the second you throw a punch, you risk losing millions of dollars. So my thing is, if you're gonna do it, Isaiah Stewart, if you're gonna do something like that, get your money's worth.
I'm telling you,
better be
might
a
as
good
well.
hit.
Get your money's worth. At least lay somebody out.
And then
Not
Atlanta,
like knock them out.
Minnesota
Like
too.
maybe slap them or clothesline them to the ground. Something. If you're gonna be stupid all the way.
Nah, Joe, if you're gonna hit somebody for that much money, you gotta knock them out.
If
you
you
gotta
need
have
a
an MMA
knockout.
career.
Kermit Washington, though, if you knock them out, you're Kermit Washington. I can understand not knocking somebody out, but slapping somebody in the face, basically bitch slapping them. At least at that point, that's on TV. That's on YouTube forever. You can really embarrass the shit out of that guy. Especially if you do a backhand. The backhand is the best.
Oh,
The backhand is the most degrading slap in human history. That's why when you see those old movies, especially with Bond, when Sean Connery was Bond, he always used to do that to the ladies. They used to get a kick out of it. But in the 80s and 90s movies, they would do that, right? The thug and the woman, and then here comes the hero.
Not sure how you would phrase it that way.
Well, I'm talking about the movie, Gerald. I don't know. I don't do that in my personal life.
I hope not. Thank goodness.
Yeah, my fist is the size of my wife's face. I don't think that would work.
jeez.
I literally put my fist next to my wife's face. I'm like, man, this would be a bad day for you.
So, Legend, there was also a fight with your team, Atlanta, against Minnesota. Your thoughts on that as well? Well, not quite as serious as the wannabe Malice in the Palace, which wasn't, but your thoughts on what went on with Atlanta and Minnesota as well.
Oh, I said, oh, them boy been in Magic City and got the alcohol before they got to this game. I'm talking about. I know they had that in them right there. But yeah, they got their butt whooped. So I mean, if you're gonna do all that, at least win the game.
Well, the thing was that we were all, when we watched the highlight of it, and we were watching it on Discord, the first thing we pointed out, hey, is that Gabe Vincent?
Oh, yeah,
yeah, he was right in the middle of it. And the thing was that John, he's still doing cardio.
Of course,
he's still doing cardio.
Yeah.
19 minutes, 2 points. He's
honestly,
still doing cardio.
Luke Kennard's first 2 games, you could say, has already been about more than anything Gabe has gave us all year long. So not just all year. You could add in check in last year if you want as well too.
But they didn't do anything with him in the second half. And yes, they played tighter on him in OKC, but when you're playing ISO ball as Austin Reeves and LeBron at times in that second half relied upon, it makes it easier to guard players or shooters because you're not running plays where you're trying to get them open because you're just looking to go ahead and get some yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple basketball, Gerald. You breaking it down to where a 3-year-old can understand, just like that, right? Simple basketball, and the amount of looks that I'm guessing you're referring to Luke Kennard that he's going to continue to get is
Well,
wow.
again, it worked in the first half. He played a major contribution to them as far as any kind of success the Lakers had in that first half because they were passing the ball around. It seemed to be distributed a little bit more evenly. But in the second half, they were a little bit reliant or more reliant on the ISO ball, especially with Austin Reeves at the latter end of the third quarter, and then both Reeves and LeBron looking for fouls, especially in Austin Reeves' case. And he got so frustrated, he got a T over it as well. When you play that ISO ball, there are issues and problems with it. And the fact is, it just makes it easier to guard everyone else if they know that you're going to have that take. If John, if you have the ball and everybody knows that you're going to take the shot, it's a lot easier to guard those 4 extra guys.
100%. It's a lot easier for the help side defense. It's what I like to call predictive defense. Who's gonna, who the only true playmaker on the other team is, and you're gonna play defense. You're gonna lean it. You're gonna bring your help side heavily over on his strong side. So as far as that, yeah, I think that's not good. And I think in Luke Kennard's position, though, Gerald, I'll be honest, I think that he'll be able to not only get up shots when the ball is swinging, but he'll also be able to get up shots more when Luka and LeBron are here together, just off sheer. Oh damn, Luke Kennard is open right here in the corner because the defense is paying so much attention to Luka, and then now the defense is paying so much attention to like a backdoor cut and Bron. Oh shit, Luke Kennard's open right here in this on this corner. So I think those looks will naturally come to him more. And to your point, in that first half, this swing of the offense.
I do want to mention Legend had to leave. He's on the East Coast, and it's
All right,
he's 2 a.m. in the morning for him. Please go ahead and support him today at I Got Next Sports Media on his YouTube channel as well. Joe, you said that you might be doing a Joe Sorok experiment in the near future. Is that correct or no?
Yeah, I was planning on doing something tonight, but my day went a little longer than normal. But I'm gonna probably have something here the next day or so.
Okay. No worries. No worries. And then, of course, the game tomorrow, it's a little later, 7:30 p.m. start time. Normal start time for us on the West Coast. So look for that as the San Antonio Spurs come in fresh as a daisy against the Los Angeles Lakers. And Carino, let me put it back to you real quick, Joe. I think you said it earlier. If the Lakers give that same kind of effort, Carino was asking for as far as what would count as a good showing by the Lakers, even if they lose. If they give the same kind of effort as they did today, because the effort wasn't the issue, it's the execution as far as today is concerned. You and I both agree the effort was at least there for the Lakers today.
Yeah, if they learned from today's game in terms of physicality, I know it's going to depend on how the officiating is called. That plays a part, but that's the beauty of being a good team is adapting. You go from playing, let's say, the 80s Pistons, the 80s Celtics to playing the 80s Lakers, right? There's a difference. And if you want to be a good team, you want to be a perennial title contender, you need to be able to adapt. Spurs are not a physical team. They're pretty finessed. And I would take advantage of that in the sense of think of it as a physical game and test it out, see how the officiating is. If they're ticky-tacking all day or in the first quarter, then go in a little bit more finesse the rest of the way and just keep the effort like you had tonight. There was a lot of effort tonight, and I really believe this is one of those games where when you don't get certain calls or the balance is a little off, sometimes that can frustrate you and take you out of your game. Learn from that. And JJ not maybe setting up plays for Kennard. He'll learn from that. Kennard's only been playing, what is his second game so far? These are all fixable problems if it's taken care of, if it's looked at. And hopefully they can get out of this with a 1-1 between these two teams.
Absolutely, indeed. John, you've got a great channel yourself with Lakers Corner. What you got cooking there, and what you got cooking ahead for the All-Star break, possibly as well.
Yes, sir. Check me out, man. I have Lakers Corner on YouTube. I do 3-minute game recaps right there on my shorts tab. You'll see I do with the highlights. Talk about why we won, why we lost, kind of what happened. Please do also check me out on Instagram. It's Lakers_corner. Just got to 7,000 followers today on Instagram, so let's keep growing on there. TikTok is Lakers_corner 24, and then Twitter at the Lakers Corner. But besides that, appreciate you guys. And then for All-Star break, I will be actually the weekend after All-Star break. I'm gonna be in Joe's hometown, so let's see if Joe's cool enough to hang out with me.
You're gonna be in Temecula?
I'm gonna be in Anaheim. It's close enough to your hometown, brother, for us to figure something out. So
all right, cool.
The February 22nd, I'm gonna be out there. This
You
one
heard
dude,
that first, guys.
This one dude who gives me who listens to Lakers Corners literally gave me a ticket. I think I told you guys this, right? He gave me
Yes,
a fucking ticket to the Celtics versus Lakers game, row 5. Shit's crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, again, our viewers have been great. You see what Drip Show has given us. I've been given jerseys. It's just great when people appreciate the work you do.
Feels good.
It really feels good. Indeed, absolutely.
I need to figure out what this guy does for a living though, because we seen these tickets are expensive. So I'm gonna get to know this guy at the game. I'll give you guys an update.
Best League says the Kennard trade was a waste of a second round pick. Do you agree with that, Joe?
I wouldn't agree with that. I would not agree with that at all.
Why?
Is Best League seriously? Does Best League have bipolar disorder?
Oh well, I think he was trolling on the Bronny stuff earlier. But
yeah, he's got like 2 brains, and both don't work well.
I was supposed to say 2 brains probably sounds great to have.
I can say when he's doing cardio, Kennard is, and then you saw some of his defensive struggles when OKC picked on him. It's a problem, but the thing is, you got to keep him active, and he's not the type of aggressive. Part of his issue, Kennard, is a good playmaker, excellent shooter, but he's not aggressive, John. He doesn't demand the ball, and he doesn't take a ton of shots. That's the one thing I think that also is the through line with all of his different stops is he doesn't get mad if you don't throw him the ball, and he won't take the shots. He won't tell you, hey, I'm open, get me the ball. He's not one of those guys, and that's a problem because your best shooter needs to be just like Rui in a way. Rui, when he goes quiet and the team forgets about him, seems like he doesn't demand that ball. That's a problem when your best shooters like Rui and like Kennard are not demanding the ball, or JJ as a coach is not drawing plays to specifically get them the ball.
Yeah, I mean, for a shooter like Kennard, JJ, you gotta be able to draw up some easy plays to get him some easy open looks. It's nothing crazy. Some down screens, some elevator screens, a flare screen to get him going. These are simple plays. Now, as far as it's like him having that dog in him and like going to the hoop and playing in a certain way. Now that's just personal. Like I can't. The one thing my coach always used to tell me is that like you either got that dog in you or you don't. Like I can't teach you to be a dog. You either want it or you don't. And sometimes maybe Kennard is a situation where he doesn't want it, but even with that, I still wouldn't agree with saying that he was a waste of a pick. And I mean, again, even just in his 2 games, he's proven to be more valuable than Gabe. And then this is also without Luka Doncic and his gravity out there. So that's where I'm at with that.
What do you think about Luke Kennard? Again, the way John is describing it, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this, sometimes it could be a case of a player just happy to be there at that level. And again, there are reasons why, Joe, he has bounced around the league, and which is hard to fathom sometimes when you look at 45% shooting from 3. but there is reasons, and we saw some of those reasons tonight, because he's not going to beg for it if you don't get it, and he'll just go ahead and just be happy to be there sometimes, and that's not good enough. We need an aggressive shooter, but we also need plays to make sure he's open so he can get those balls as well.
I don't know what Rui and Kennard are not going to demand the ball. That's not who they are. So you need to coach that. You need to get the ball to them and create the opportunities for them. Otherwise, yeah, that's not who they are. Those guys are role players. Those guys are specific talent on the team. What do you got? What's next? We're gonna wait for Shannon Brown back in 2000 to demand the ball.
Classic Chris Brown doppelganger.
Come on, that's not how it works. This is a 2-star, maybe 3-star team, and then everybody else does their job. If Reeves demands the ball, there's some merit there. LeBron demands the ball. He's seniority there, and then of course Luka's the star. But that's the coach's job to get Kennard open shots, and it's only a short time that he's been here. I don't know what the fuck you guys are expecting this guy to do. Like, seriously, I'm reading some of this shit that you guys are posting. Oh, we're not going to win a championship without Kennard. Oh, really? That's the assessment you have for a guy who's a shooter, a role player shooter? Really? Like, that's what you were expecting for him to just come and turn into Ray Allen? No, you guys are out of your mind. You're out of your fucking mind. Like, seriously, I mean, it's nonsense. Tonight's game was not a game where people weren't playing their asses off and JJ wasn't coaching his ass off. What happened today is guys didn't make shots and JJ didn't adjust a couple times here and there in the sense of maybe having a better opportunity. But how do you know? How do you know LaRavia was going to miss 2 shots that would have probably won the game for him? You don't know that. But what you do then is say, I'm going to give this opportunity to somebody else. You learn from these losses and you go from there. And any criticism towards Reeves tells me that you didn't really probably watch the game or focus enough on really what was going on. He was getting hacked. He got hacked 3 times with no calls. He was pissed off. He got a tech on one of them. And a lot of those were momentum shifting calls too, by the way. If we get the call in terms of the Lakers, then who knows where this would have been.
But won't they do also not call that in the playoffs?
I don't know. Probably not. Maybe not. But then that's a good thing that this happened today because you'll learn from it. Look, if they're going to let him play like this, okay, you better adjust. Just like a strike zone in baseball. If you're getting the outside corner, if they're calling a strike on the corners and it's a couple inches off the plate, you better freaking adjust. Otherwise, you're going to start. You're going to continue to get frustrated by that. This is the human element of this game. It's part of the mental game. You have to adjust. As far as the only player tonight that's been consistently disappointing to the worst area is DeAndre Ayton. If DeAndre Ayton gave a shit tonight, they might have won as well. Because they would have gotten those rebounds. They would have gotten those putbacks. These guys were missing a lot of shots in the third quarter. And missing a lot of shots almost all the way through the fourth quarter. Then they start making them the last couple minutes to put the game away. Because that's what champions do. When they suck in the third quarter, suck in the first 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden make forced baskets in a row in the last 2 minutes, that's what champions do. They don't think about what they missed at the 10-minute mark in the fourth quarter. They don't think about what happened in the 6-minute mark in the third quarter. They don't give a shit that it's a close game. They basically told themselves, hey, there's 2 minutes left here. We're the champs. Let's put this fucking thing away. Because DeAndre Ayton ain't going to get a fucking rebound. He's not going to catch the ball. And I'd say that to his face, too. That's how you get in their heads. I'd say it right there in front of everybody. Get me the ball while the ball is in motion or they're inbounding it. This fool ain't going to do anything. That's how I would be. Maybe it's because I grew up in the 90s and 80s, right? But that's how I would talk. This fool ain't getting a rebound, and he ain't stopping shit. Give me the ball. You don't think Charles Barkley and Karl Malone and these guys were not doing that? Shit. Come on. I still remember Charles Barkley. I can't remember. I remember his face, but I remember there was a Minnesota Timberwolves player. He needed to hit both free throws to tie the game, and I think there was maybe a few seconds left in the game, so it probably would have been in overtime. He walked over to him right before his first free throw, and he goes, "You're going to miss this free throw, so don't think too much." And of course, he missed. Right here, guys. This right here. This is the most important weapon to have. And then if God gave you the skill set and the height and the athletic ability to play at this level, then now you're how many basketball players play in the NBA? A lot. 450, 480, I think, to be exact.
I'll close
480. There's only 480.
Yeah.
Basketball players when they're playing at the same time, right? 30 teams, 15 a roster. 480. There's 8 billion people on the planet, guys.
Shit's crazy.
So I'm going to close out this conversation with you, John. We started the conversation and was started right away with people saying, as far as what Reeves might be asking for in the offseason, et cetera, and we got a glimpse in the previous game as far as the highs of having Austin Reeves of your team. And today we got a pretty good glimpse of what it looks like as far as the lows of his, of Austin Reeves when he's not getting the calls, when he's not getting those fouls, when he's not getting to the line, when he is a player out there asked to go ahead and facilitate and run the offense. Your thoughts, my friend, because again, the Lakers will have to make some financial decisions moving forward, and Austin Reeves will be at the forefront of that.
Yeah, I mean, Austin Reeves, I've said this multiple times on here, man. Austin Reeves is one of those players where you got to take the good with the bad, right? Like the offense is a masterclass, but you know what it gets like come playoffs, and then also you know that what it's going to be come playoffs, and once it gets targeted on the defensive end, he's just a liability. And I think, to kind of, cap everything off, we're the fucking Lakers, guys. Like, we're not the Hornets. Like, we can't be we cannot accept mediocre type play. I'm gonna be honest with you. We cannot accept a player that can only be so good to a certain point, right? So I feel like as Laker fans, you gotta. What was Joe saying earlier? Like, we don't fucking accept Western Conference finals runs, or we don't accept a player that's half ready. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But as far as letting go of him, if it's a trade, I mean, you've heard me say this, Gerald. I don't think the value that Austin Reeves has on the trade block is actually the value he has on his Lakers team. So I think it'd be hard. Any trade you do with him, you get pennies on a dimes, pennies on a dollar, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yep, we'll see what happens, or if he's included in the Giannis trade. We'll see if that happens. Joe, just to be clear, has said previously, just moved the teams in the less successful areas of the country, like New Orleans, Charlotte, or Memphis, and moved them out to Seattle and Vegas instead of getting a new expansion team instead. I believe you've said that several times, Joe, and I don't think your position has changed on that. Is that correct? Because they were asking.
Yeah, but it's probably not going to happen. They're probably going to add 2 teams because they're stupid. But
it's money in twos, Joe. They do pay a huge expansion fee by doing.
He's actually, I think Silver is more obsessed with the European expansion than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
However, if it were up to me, I would be pushing to have New Orleans move to Seattle or Vegas, and then talk to Memphis about, as soon as their arena deal is expiring in 2029, see if they'd want to move to Vegas or Seattle in terms of however it plays out between those 2 teams. I just don't think the NBA needs 2 more teams. It's
because the player dilution of talent is
already watered down enough, and we're talking about Kobe Buffkin as some kind of a savior, even though we're not saying it like that. It's this discussion of, is should Kobe Buffkin be playing tonight? I don't give a shit about Kobe Buffkin. Okay, Kobe Buffkin is Kobe Buffkin. He's not going to help anything. We don't have time for this shit right now. This team needs to figure out when DeAndre Ayton is going to find his heart, because he plays like the cowardly lion right now, and that's a problem, because if you have any chance at making this work in the playoffs, you have to have something from that guy. Otherwise, it's just a repeat of what happened last year with a little bit of better play here and there on the perimeter, but not much. Maybe you get out of the first round, but you're going to get waxed in the second round. But as far as expansion is concerned, my assessment on that is I would not expand. I would relocate 2 teams that are existing, areas that don't really, I don't think, need teams. New Orleans doesn't need a team. I think New Orleans already learned that years ago with the New Orleans Jazz when they moved to Utah. Memphis didn't work out in Vancouver. They've been in Memphis. I don't know what the hell people in Memphis are doing watching basketball. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a huge following there, but I don't think so. And I don't know what the hard-on is with Seattle. I don't know why they got to go put a team in Seattle so bad. But if they are, then the one good thing is Oklahoma City can have their own identity if they do. And I kind of like that. I think what will happen is all the history that Oklahoma City has, because they were a transfer team from Seattle, now they're actually going to take that history and put it back to the Seattle Supersonics. Kind of like how when the Ravens left Cleveland, the Cleveland Browns were reinstituted 3 years later. I like that because I think history is important, because the Sonics have a history. Whenever you win an NBA championship, to me, you have history. Whenever you have Hall of Famers on that team, guys like Dennis Johnson, I think the other one is Sigma. You have a place in the NBA. I like that. I don't like defunct teams that have been champions in a league. I hate when that happens. So yes, and then of course the biggest hard-on they have is putting a team in Vegas, which it's hilarious too, because 30 years ago I always said if there was ever going to be a league that gets a Vegas team, and at that time there was never even a thought of putting any professional teams in Vegas. I said if there was one sport that they'd have a professional team of the major fours, I'd be like, it's for sure going to be basketball. And of course, in the end, it was the last place possibly likely that it's going to be. Yeah.
There's also a question by Arcarino in the chat for you, but I wanted to get it to John. John's thoughts. Would you do expansion or relocation? And by the way, Gregory, yes, Mark Stein reported earlier today that Mark Cuban, much to Joe's chagrin, maybe, is trying to formulate a group that wants to buy back, with the intention of buying back the Dallas Mavericks. And all I say to that, Greg, is for Luka, too little, too late.
Too little, too late, man. No, I definitely don't think we should do an expansion. I'm thinking more of a relocation as well with you guys. And also, I just think an expansion, I mean, maybe you guys have lived through it, so you guys could speak to it a little bit more, but I just think that shit gets tricky with the player protections and how that goes. So honestly, I don't think that an expansion is what's necessary, but I do think it's what's going to happen. I'm going to be honest with you.
It's some money. Remember, there's a fee that they pay just to get in the league, and that fee has been rumored to be right around $500 million. So you don't get that if you just move. And I'm not saying I disagree with you guys, because talent-wise, you're right. The best thing would be just to move and allocate your sources that are not performing as well with attendance in those weak areas, and just move them to areas that you might think they do better. It's simple business right there for you, but it's also simple business if you can collect $500 million from 2 different teams as well and allocate that to 30 different owners as well. So, yeah.
Well, maybe in the next 50 to 50 plus years, what they can do is, in basketball, I think it might be a little easier, because basketball isn't as I think it's a little more economical than football. Football, you need pads and helmets, and you need insurances that are up the yin yang and all that. But if you look at we have what, 7 continents, right? So 7 continents other than our Antarctica. The 6 remaining continents could have their own league.
NFL's improving to 10 games next season overseas.
Yeah. Basketball.
Do you think supersonic travel will be much easier in 50 years to achieve?
No, probably not.
Okay.
No. I mean, we were supposed to have flying cars now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it would be
A
possible.
Concorde never took off. So
without globalization, I don't think the amenities would be the same. It would take. I think it would take much longer to have. By the way, when I say globalization, I don't mean that in a political form. I'm talking about every country is connected, like really connected in terms of, okay, well, football is so big, it's in every continent. And then you can have an African league, you can have a European league, you can have an Australian league, you can have a Asian league, you can have a South American league. The thing is, football it's not made for a lot of, football. You need size, and not a lot of these areas. They're mainly soccer areas and basketball areas. I think that's a little bit more kind of conducive to that. But then again, I know that people can go and move to those areas as well. But I think it would be kind of interesting. I think it would be really interesting, actually. When I was thinking about this years ago, I said, okay, let's say they pick 6 continents, right? You got North America, which is right now. You have South America, you have Europe, you have Asia, you have Africa, and then you have Australia, right? Let's just use that as a even number. So each continent has their champion, and then you have a six playoff team world champion. I think that'd be cool. We're not going to be alive for it, but I'm just saying, like, I'm
dead.
Yeah, we're dead, which is fine. But I think that's probably something that could exist. I think it would be kind of cool to maybe cut our heads off, put it in the freezer, and maybe come back. Just kidding.
YYC, I'm going to tell you like this. It's because you're asking, is the hockey team in Vegas more popular than the NFL one? And then I'm going to close everything out because I got to do a Lakers latest for tomorrow. Lakers latest on YouTube. Go ahead and like and subscribe. But YYC, the hockey team, it came here as an expansion. People were very slow to warm up to them leading into the days as far as when they started. But when they started, as if you look back in your history, the Golden Knights are one of the most successful expansion franchises ever. And they went to the finals in their first year. By the time the calendar ended for that year, they were the hottest thing in Las Vegas and have not stopped. They're actually the most expensive NHL tickets in the league. They are one of the most popular, if not the most popular team in the league as far as their home games are concerned. And they are hugely popular amongst the local fans. The Raiders, seems like half the population is with the Raiders, half doesn't care about them, but their games sell out or close to it each and every time out because Las Vegas is a hub for the other team. And this is what you're going to see with the A's, because nobody really wants the A's here. Nobody at all wants the A's here. It's cost a lot of money to both taxpayers and tourists, which has helped drive the prices down as far as the population down, as far as that's coming in, the tourism that's down, because it's more expensive now than ever to be in Las Vegas or to visit Las Vegas. But there's so many people still visiting Las Vegas for the football games that they fill up the stadium regardless. So even though the Raiders have absolutely sucked since they've been here, they're still drawing them in. The Allegiant Stadium has been the second most, I guess, revenue generating stadium on the planet, and number 1 in the US for last year. So again, it's been a win-win situation for them. But yeah, the Golden Knights are still number 1 sports team in this town, and it's not close. And any Raiders fan gonna tell them, I'll tell them right up. I'll tell them straight up. But with that,
it's their team.
Because it started out as their team.
Yeah,
it was
this is
something
not
they built from scratch. Yeah.
Yeah, this is not a transplant of. That's Oakland's team, and it always will be. I know LA had a big following too, but the Oakland Raiders belong to Oakland.
Yeah, and if the Dodgers come there, it's a Dodgers home game. Yankees come there, it's a Yankees home game. Angels come there, it'll be half and half. Any other team that comes in there, it'll be half and half. It's going to be, it's not like the Oakland Mausoleum, Joe, that you remember, like 2,000 fans, an entire 60,000 seat stadium on a Thursday night there. It is going to be pretty good attendance throughout. And business wise, it may be a good decision. But still, again, as far as popularity, nobody here wanted the A's. The governor wanted the A's here in Las Vegas, and he got his way. And there you go. It's just as simple as that. Again, it's not a political thing. It's just what he said and what he pushed through as far as through legislature. It's just that simple. Lakers latest. Where is Lakers latest? I'll go ahead and put that up. That's the new channel I'm with as far as with the Fan Arc Network. So hopefully you guys get a chance to check it out. If you take a look at the notes, I post the latest Lakers latest around in the morning. They hit every time about 8:30 a.m. Pacific. So if you guys get a chance to check that out, but I will post this here in the comments, that Lakers latest channel right here for you in just a second. But Joe, any last thoughts before we head on out?
No.
I think YYC, they won in their fourth year in operation, third or fourth. Yeah, I think fourth year in operation. The Gold Knights. That's when we won it about 3 years ago. So they've been in operation about 7-8 years now. So yeah, it's been a while. Thoughts on the road to Mania? Not much, JSJ. Not much at all. Attendance is down, the advance is down here in Vegas. It's not just the tourism, it's just not exciting right now. I need to see more. But yeah, there you go. That's Lakers latest. That's Fan Arc Network asked me to run their Lakers channel for them, and that's what I'm trying to do each and every morning. I bring you a little clip, 15 to 20 minutes of what's going on with Lakers right there for you, Lakers latest. But for my main channel in life, I will be back. Joe hopefully will be back. John hopefully be back. Legend hopefully be back for tomorrow night's game. It is the Lakers and San Antonio Spurs. We'll be back for the post game. Will the Lakers find enough energy tomorrow against a fresh San Antonio team, trying to at least stay 2-1 for this week as they head into the All-Star break? We'll find out, but we'll be here. Will you? Hopefully you will, because there's no better place to get your Lakers opinion and information for the post game than right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.
Super Bowl was fun.
Boring. I did like the Instacart commercial. That was hilarious.
Yeah.